Hey, it's Brooklyn Lou the Skeptic. And today I wanted to talk about what it was like being an evangelical Christian. I spent many years as a Christian and I experienced a lot. And now, being out of it for quite some time, I get to look back and reflect on my personal experiences. And one of the things that I remember very well, being a Christian, a fundamentalist evangelical type of Christian, was that I used to make excuses for God all the time. And after many years of making excuses for God, when I came out after studying and learning that what I believed was really not true, I wasted so much time just making excuses for God. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, I definitely recall thinking that God was everything. God represented everything in my life. He became my identity. Jesus Christ became part of who I was. And I did make that vow that I would serve Jesus for the rest of my life. I took it seriously, but when you do so, you put yourself in the box, right? The belief system becomes everything to you. And we were taught, and I believed, that God was in control of all things, that he was all powerful. He was majestic. He was the only one worthy of adoration, of worship. And he was the only answer to all of life's issues. And after a while, praying to God year in and year out, you end up realizing that things don't always go the way you thought they would, given the fact that there is this all-powerful, all-knowing God. So when I look back, I was disappointed many times by God. And of course, there is no God, but I was disappointed in my own concept of God. You see, I would pray, and for the most part, nothing ever happened. Nothing really changed. Nobody was really healed. It was all just a game, a mental game played by the people in the church and myself to keep us in the box. That's what it was like being a fundamentalist evangelical Christian for me. Now, how did I make excuses for the God? Let me explain. I wanted to believe that God was the end all and in control of everything. But when I would look around, it didn't seem like he was running a very good universe. You see, there was chaos, and there was just a lot of bad things in reality. And yet, the God was supposed to be protecting me, protecting everybody. Now, I want you to think, if you were a father, like God is supposed to be our father when we were in that belief system, your father is supposed to protect you. Is that correct? Okay. But when you're a Christian, you end up realizing God is really not protecting you. You still have to protect yourself quite often, because the reality is that in real life, things happen to you. They do. Things happen to you. And there is no God protecting you, because all the things that are common to everyone else also happens to you. So eventually you start realizing, what's the point of praying to the God when the God is going to do whatever he wants anyway? So I could pray, Lord, protect me, right? Keep me well, and yet it may not happen. Okay? So you make the excuse for the God who is supposed to protect you. And you end up saying things to yourself like, well, God knows better than me. Maybe I was supposed to experience this horrible negative thing in my life. Maybe he works in mysterious ways that I cannot understand. And that's why he doesn't seem to protect me. He wants me to go through horrible things. He wants to see that and see how I'll react. Well, that's an outright excuse for the God. Let's face it. If God is supposed to protect you, he's supposed to protect you, man. All right. All right. Not this, he's going to protect me, but he's really not going to protect me. No, you can't have it both ways. There's a contradiction there. Either he protects you or he doesn't. All right. Not he's going to protect you in some mysterious way that you can't experience. But one day when you go to heaven, you'll understand how he protected you, even though you went through something horrible. All right. After a while, this type of thinking, year in and year out, it kind of grew cold for me. It grew cold. Okay. Imagine being a manager of a store. Let's make it simple. God is supposed to be the manager and the one who oversees the entire universe. So let's make it simple. Let's suppose that you were the manager or the owner of a store. You're the one who is responsible for that store. Okay, and let's say your store became complete chaos. There were people running around your store, burglarizing it. There were people hurting each other in your store. There were people getting sick and throwing up all over your store. And your store was a mess. It was a place of high crime, all in the store that you owned or managed. Well, am I going to blame anyone else? Doesn't the responsibility of that store, isn't it my responsibility, folks? But when it's God and we see all of the evil in the world and all of the chaos in the world, we somehow, as I used to think when I was a Christian, I would somehow make excuses for the God. I'd say, well, it does appear like there's a whole lot of chaos going on over here. It does appear like there's a whole lot of evil. It does appear as though things are just happening somewhat randomly. certainly looks like that. Okay. Certainly affects me in that way, but I can't think that God is not good because I must stay in that box. I can't think that God may not be managing the universe very well because I must stay in that box. And if I go out of that box, it is way, way scary for me. Okay, and that's what I was going through at the end of my time as an evangelical Christian, along with studying and learning about reality, things like science, right? A methodology that I can deploy and utilize for myself to figure out what is really true. And after it was all said and done, I realized that all I did was put myself in a mental box, into a belief system where everything had to be perfect for the God. He must be perfect, even when he so obviously was running things horribly within my life, within the earth, within the United States of America. Things were not being run very well, but I had to deny that. I had to deny reality. I had to pretend that the God was indeed perfect, that the God was all powerful, that the God was all knowing, even when the reality around me demonstrated that that was not true. So if you think about these things deeply, if you're a Christian who may be just starting to think about what you believe and whether or not it comports with reality, my channel is here to make you think. Don't be scared if you're a Christian. It's okay to think. And if you're an atheist, share your stories coming out of evangelical Christianity. And even those of you who were never, ever religious at all. And there's a few of you out there talking personally to you, Geo. Right? There's a few that were never religious. And I wish I wasn't, but I was. I lived in the delusional world. I put a box around my thinking. I'm very grateful I came out of that. No more making excuses for the God. For crying out loud, we just seen a horrible, heartbreaking tragedy where 2 children were gunned down while they were praying to God. Unbelievable, heartbreaking, horrible. My heart goes out to all those people who were victimized in the shooting that we all saw. Nobody should have to go through such horror as a mother and father as to see their little children gunned down while praying to the God. Nope. No more excuses, folks. If God is all powerful, if God is all knowing, he's not doing a very good job at managing the universe. He's not protecting his children. That's reality. Let's live in the real world, folks. If you like this type of content, please share the video, subscribe to the channel. We're growing really well now. I'm over 3,000 subscribers, and it's hard for me to believe. So I want to grow so that free thinkers have another platform, another place where they can be comfortable. And anyone who is on the deconstruction journey, join us all here on this channel. I want it to be open to all people, wherever you are on your journey in life. Come on in. We want to hear from all of you. Comment below. Share your thoughts, whatever they might be. And until next time, think rationally.